Hey, hi. Yep, hi,
Hey,
morning.
yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. We wanted to chat briefly with you about like the project.
Yep, sure.
Uh, so yeah, it was great meeting you guys and like working in like quick fashion, like from the time that you reached out in August and with the like first like our invoice and just like we started working like at the end of like first week of September and finished like in October.
Yeah.
Pretty much like went into production. So I was curious to like ask you like a few questions and just like the basic question is like what prompted you to work with us like in the first place?
Okay, I think first of all, I think right, my thanks to you all. I think I mean particularly I think it's Irwin, right? Irwin used to be from Navis, right? And we are a portfolio company under the Navis group. So right, and Irwin helps us in a lot of IT strategies and directions and all that. So yeah, so he knows that I'm always interested to explore AI solutions to help us in terms of our work processes and all that. I think he did spend some time, and then eventually he came back and then actually introduced us to media. And I'm very happy that actually, like what you mentioned, I think it's very quickly, right, from the time that we get engaged and then the time that it went live on production, and now it's running pretty well. And then I think it was, I mean, it has been a fantastic journey, and I think it's really very, I think we are very happy about the results. Yeah.
Yeah, that very glad to hear that. Thanks a lot for that feedback. I was curious about in terms of like the previous solution that you had. What was like what prompted you to like find like an alternative, and uh, did you consider like other options as well, or?
Sure. Okay. I think okay. The previous solution was actually UiPath, right, which is an RPA right? It's an RPA product, right? And that was started by my predecessor. So yeah, when I joined, they were already using it. Okay, but I mean, I suppose that when they chose to use RPA back at the point in time, I think that was probably the in thing, right? RPA was an in thing 5 years ago or something like that. So right, and everybody trying to jump on to UiPath or RPA or whatever, right? But I think we have actually looked. I mean, after subsequently, I know that they actually signed up for 3 projects which we only managed to get one live going, right? I think one of the key thing when I went in, there's only one that is working, but there were actually 3 identified projects. But when I look at it, I felt that it was quite difficult for RPA to be able to do it because that would require a lot of manual intervention. And I think I think the thing that I decided to switch out to find something else is because RPA is very much basically a lot of coding, right? And not so human friendly. We need to rely very heavily on a vendor, and the license cost. Okay, the license cost is quite okay, but the overall, right, the entire cost of running an RPA is actually very expensive. So right, so when AI came into the picture, particularly I think over the last year or so, okay, I mean it has been around for quite a while. But particularly in the last couple of last year or so, whereby right became so, I mean, it became a very hot topic that everybody talk about. So I think that's something that makes a lot of sense because I mean I've been using some ChatGPT for both some work on myself and then also a lot of my on my own private usage. So I find that it's actually something that is very easy to use and think people will be able to pick it up much easier. Right, so that's why I try to understand a little bit more, and then from Irwin, and then Irwin came to Singapore. We had a discussion, and he said, "Hey, I think that could be the one that actually could help us going right." And then I think, hey, why don't we look at it and replace the RPA project right immediately because the license is going to expire and it has expired now, right? So and we do not need to renew it because it was just in time that we managed to save quite a fair bit of money, and I think that we could actually deploy the funds that we save into some other projects that we did. Right? I mean, there are 2 projects that was identified previously within the accounting team. Okay, that has got to do with some of the reconciliations. I think suppliers reconciliation as well as the tax collects reconciliation. So I believe that we probably can look at it. I think with the very good start that we already have, I think and then the confidence level from the team after using it, I think has been pretty positive. I think that give us a lot of will give us a lot of encouragement for us to pursue to look at it further. Now, I'm sure that if we were to look at it, there are probably many other way that we can actually look into use. I mean, in terms of deploying
Mhm.
AI solutions or
Mhm.
automated processes within the office environment.
Just to summarize what you said, like to understand it better. So you first worked with a UiPath
Yes.
that was installed by the previous CFO,
Yeah.
and when you identified there were like 3 existing RPA projects, but only one of them was finished, and 2
Yeah.
other they could not be finished because they required too much like human intervention. They could
That's
not
right.
be automated like in the same fashion like the first one.
Correct.
But now
Correct.
since you implemented Mediar product of ours, now you're thinking about like the other 2 projects to
Yes.
give it also to Mediar because it seems like they're going to work.
Yeah.
And also you have in mind like some other use cases, some other workflows.
Sure. Yeah. Definitely. I think the key reason is as I mentioned, right, because RPA requires a lot of hard coding, right, and program codes and all that kind of thing, and it can't make decision, right. It basically just follow yes no that kind of thing, right. Whatever that you plan for it or you program it to do, it doesn't think, right. Not unlike AI, whereby there could be certain learning, right. There will be machine learning and processes that. So I think there could be possibility that certain things that could be done better within using AI, and I have a lot of faith in AI because I think it is still just the beginning. I'm sure within the next 3 to 5 years, right, the power of AI is going to be probably tens of, I mean, even many tens times there's far more powerful than now, right? I mean, there is so many developers, everybody is looking into it, right, and so much resources is being poured into it. The power of AI, I think, is going to be. I mean, I think nothing can replace it. Nothing can be better than it. Yeah.
That we are also excited about it, and that's why we are working on this theme in particular. And I'm curious, looking like comparing the total cost of like UiPath and our solution, what would be like the rough percentage of the saving that you got?
Okay, we will not know exactly how much the currently media. I mean, in terms of the usage cost, right?
Because we
I think
charge per use.
because I think after we have probably we run through 1 month, 2 months, we probably know. But I'm sure that the savings is going to be quite substantial. I think easily 60-70%. Okay, but a big thing is that license apart. Okay, in terms of license savings. Okay, the other thing that is the development cost of running each RPA project is actually very very high. Right, so I mentioned that, for example, the post data posting into SAP, the development cost that was charged by the vendor runs into, I think it was either $30,000 or $40,000. Okay, just on the development cost alone. Okay, but I think this one is already considered the simpler process. The next process, I think they were looking at it. I think they said you probably run into 70-80,000, and then another one will be at 60-70-80,000. So it's going to be quite expensive in that sense, right? And particularly, I think you'll be quite irritating because for RPA is that every time there is a human intervention required to do to take some decisions, basically you will just stop there and wait until for the human to go in, and then there will be a lot of I mean, there are probably many steps that the human will need to go in, so it doesn't run very seamlessly that they would like it to be. Yeah, and if we are talking about that, then that kind of process is a daily process, very similar to what we are currently doing every day. We need to do the reconciliation. That means the disruption to the human is actually also something that we are concerned about.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And also Chai, the IT manager, he mentioned that every time like there was like an edge case that UiPath doesn't handle, he needs to go back to the vendor to
Yes.
like adjust it, and they probably charge you as well for like.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And there's actually also a monthly maintenance fee, right? So yeah, and then
Even if there is
it's actually for the support, right? So every time when the posting wasn't successful or they couldn't pull the post data, so he will have got to he will try to do it himself. He can't do it, then he'll reach out to the vendor, and then the vendor will actually have to charge for every single time they get involved. Yeah. So the cost does add up. Okay, but I think cost apart, I think most important, I think we need to have that kind of the customer experience needs to be something that's comfortable for the customer. If there's too much of disruptions to the user, I mean, the user confidence level is going to be definitely much lower.
Yeah, we are just having like a call with the Chai after our call here. We're gonna onboard him into our main app where he would be able not only like troubleshoot and investigate the execution, but also he would be able to correct the workflow or create new workflows. So next time,
yes. Yeah, I think I think that would be very helpful because right then effectively I think the users are being empowered to do right certain works on their own right without having to keep on referring back to vendors. We can leave the difficult, the more complicated part to the vendor, but I think simple troubleshooting and simple rectification, I think that is best left with the users. I think that will speed up the whole process. I think right, make the entire journey a lot more pleasant.
Yeah, another small question. Like when we helped to develop this workflow, and then like when we were moving into production, so we had like a brief call with you and the
Yeah.
team. And what made you comfortable to move into production? Because it was like relatively short period between like development, testing, and the production.
Okay. I think in terms of that, I think the success of the posting, I think even when they did a small scale on one outlet, right? I think it was quite smooth. Okay, I did check in with Chai and the team and said, hey, yeah, I think it's quite smooth, right? And basically, I mean whether we use one or we use 10, if it works for one, it should work for 10, right? It will work for everybody. So yeah, I think more important is I think what also give me a lot of confidence is actually in terms of the response by the team and by media side in terms of wanting to get it done, okay, and move on and very quickly to get it resolved. I think that gives us a lot of confidence that I mean, even despite there's a 12 hours time differences, but I think we're able to work together so well, and yeah, I think that really gives me the confidence that I think I think okay, yeah, if we test it, I think it works well. Don't worry about it, just go, right? I think the other thing that probably I would say that for this I will be able to jump in quite quickly because I'm not concerned too much in the event, right? We can't post it, right, or something happened, right? Even after going into production and then we are not able to get a post successfully, I wouldn't consider it a problem as well because it is not something that's very critical. It's not time critical, right? If you can't post it today, right, you can probably take a day or two, right, and we still post it together, right? To still post it in. It's not a critical, very time critical process within the accounting workflow. So yeah, 1 or 2 days we do have some time that we can troubleshoot. But I think more important, I think being able to just plunge into it, I think also give us a lot also that we basically everybody knows that hey, we have all have our stake in it. Let's try to get it, make it work and get it over, right? And rather than dragging our feet and then we're just wasting time and then and then the focus will be off and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good to hear that you have that we had like this experience of the in terms of implementation. Thanks a lot for the feedback about like our approach, customer support, and like just communication. I guess just the last kind of question, or more like even like just in terms of our next steps. So you already mentioned that we can that you have like in mind like a few workflows that we can automate next. But we also have like the part of the product where you can run the software in the passive mode on like a employee workstation, and it will identify all kinds of workflows that are going on and kind of analyze what kind of the workflows are repetitive. Or so it's like a kind of like a database that you can talk to with like through AI chat to see what repetitive workflows are there, what workflows are there at all. So it helps you to kind of have like the right discussion internally and to identify, yeah, what do we want to automate next.
Okay. I mean, I've actually shared with my board just last Friday or last Thursday. Okay, that we have moved over from RPA and then we are using Media AI. Okay, and we managed to basically to cut over right from the entire project just took about 2 months. I think they were very pleased with the results. Okay, and I did share with them, and there's actually many other process that that I'm looking forward to embark on. I think they're very supportive of this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. So we're excited as well. Looking forward to it. And yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe what we could do is that you touch base with Chai. Okay, let's share. I think based on what I've mentioned about these projects, maybe right you probably think about it and then discuss with Chai how this can work. Right. So then what we could do next is that I'll get Chai and then I'll put the user team. We sit in, then we decide on a goal on this basis. Then we come back to you and then probably share more with you in terms of how they're currently doing, what's the current workflow, right? And then we can discuss further and then based on your suggestions, right? If there's if there's any additional cost, development cost involved or whatever kind of thing, you can probably share that with me so that I actually can include it in my 2026 budget. Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, excited. Yeah, I guess that's it for today. Thank you very much for your time, for your answers. And yeah, let's touch base in a few weeks, or
Yes.
we'll keep talking to like Chai on regular basis.
Yes.
Like move forward.